Hi, as you're all arriving, welcome, and I'm sure have more people arriving too. I'm Jan Haig. I'm the editor of Amherst Writers and Artists Press, and we're all delighted that you're here. And we're going to get off to a slow rolling start, I like to say, as we wait for folks to pop in, since we're just a teeny bit after the hour now, our starting time. So we're very grateful that you're here. And we're looking for our second Peregrine reading of this issue, because we had so many readings, people who wanted to read. We divided the experience into two. So I don't know if all of you were at the first one or not, but if you were, thanks for coming back. And if you weren't, welcome to us for the first time. So, Danny, you want to wave and say hi? And
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So excited that you're all here. Should we give it another minute and let some more people come in?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, Danielle's going to be running the reading today, and calling on readers. And one of the first things, though, I want to say is that if you are here to read and you did not get an email from Danielle with a list of those readers, could you pop an individual note in the chat to me, Jan Haig, and let us know? We will add you to our list. We think we've gotten everybody who RSVP'd and signed up, but and at our first reading, we found out that was not the case. A couple of people showed up thinking they had, and somehow the communication was kind of weird. So anyway, if you are here and you did not get, you would have received an email from Danny this morning, with a list, an attached list of readers. Do let me know, and we'll make sure that you're included. But I'm assuming that you're here. That's, I'm guessing that most of you are probably here because you plan to be here and you thought it was, you're here to either as audience or participant, and or perhaps both. So we're very happy about that. Yeah, that's really great. Good. Danny, do you have a number of people you're expecting, or no?
I know how many readers. I don't have the full registration
Full
list
set.
for
Okay.
all attendees.
That's all right. Not a problem. Not a problem. All right. Well, we're just going to I'll get into my remarks here just a little bit. I haven't gotten a note from anybody yet. And I'll say, pardon me, because I'm going to probably repeat that again in case other folks kind of pop in. But I can formally welcome us now too. So, so again, I'm Jan Haig. I'm on the AWA board as the editor of AWA Press, which Pat Schneider, who founded Amherst Writers and Artists, going on 40 years ago now, created a press early in the process of the organization to do an annual literary journal, which we continue to do, called Peregrine. Once a year, we put out a call for creative writing, poetry, short fiction, short essays. And this year we were overwhelmed, somewhat happily, somewhat not, with 1,200 pieces that people sent in. We were not prepared for that. So as a consequence, we gathered together a wonderful group of volunteers to help read those pieces, knowing that so many were not going to be able to be included in the book. By the way, this is the book. This is what Peregrine 36, this is a 36th issue of Peregrine looks like. Yay! And so we're really excited about that. You can get this. Can they order this online from AWA, Sue, or Danny? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Or get it on Amazon, right? Either from amherstwriters.org or on Amazon. It's one of our biggest peregrines ever. It's like 150 pages. And really exciting part, this is a real peregrine. For years, the bird on the front of the book was not a peregrine. That's one of our interesting little secrets. But it was a beautiful bird that had been given to Pat by a very well-known artist in Massachusetts. And she loved it so much, so she used it, and we used it for years. So anyway, we have our board president, Sue Reynolds, who's with us, who is one of the designers of Peregrine, and got us an actual Peregrine now for the first time. So that's pretty exciting. We're excited about that. Every year the book is different, though. Every year, of course, we have different pieces of writing in it, which is just so much fun. And we are very grateful to people. It was a vulture, Sue says in the chat. I love that. Yeah, that's right. So there we go. whatever you got to do. Anyway, so thanks so much for joining us this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are in the world. That's one of the lovely things about Peregrine. We received submissions from all over the world. 326 writers submitted more than 1,200 pieces to us for this book. Peregrine, again, as I said, is the annual literary journal of Amherst writers and artists, founded by Pat Schneider, who unfortunately died in 2020. But she founded it in Amherst, Massachusetts. That's why it wears that name, about 4 decades ago. So we've got 85 writers in this 150-page book, and we're pleased to have some of them here to read their work tonight. So really excited about all this. I have to start by thanking the devoted volunteers of AWA who put so many hours into the making of this edition of Peregrine. I recognize our prose editors, Janet Summers and Andrea Vassallo, and our poetry editors, Ellen Summers and Shelley Johnson Carey. We had this incredible team. If you get Peregrine, you'll see the names of all 25 first readers who combed through these 1,200 pieces to winnow them down. We are so sorry, of course, that we didn't have room to include everything that those readers loved, but we are grateful to all the writers who sent us their work to consider. We regretfully left a lot of good stuff on the cutting room floor. And if yours was among those pieces, that doesn't mean it wasn't good. And it doesn't mean we don't love you or really appreciate you. Pat Schneider felt so strongly about this precept that it is one of AWA's 5 essential affirmations. And it is simply this: a writer is someone who writes. She would say, and we all believe, that means you should definitely keep writing and submitting as you choose or not. It's up to you. If you don't want to ever submit, that's okay too. I also want to thank our incredible team of Sue Reynolds, AWA Board President, and Lane Goddard, our AWA Board President Emeritus, for their layout and design of this issue of Peregrine. For the, as we've got this new lovely bird, and we're just so happy to have that. We're also very grateful to Katie Frank, who is the managing director of AWA, and the AWA administrative assistant and social media coordinator, Danielle McKinney, for their work on Peregrine, and not least running this show. Yay! Danny's the person who contracted contributors about the readings. She helps me literally sit in my living room, in my dining room, and mail copy after copy of Peregrine to people and take them to the post office. And she'll be running the show from here. Again, if you are coming in and you think you were planning to read tonight, but you did not get an email from Danielle today with a list of readers, then please send me a quick note, an individual note to Jan Haig in the chat. So so that's that. So we can make sure we don't want to leave anybody out who is planning to read tonight. So thank you again. So I think I'll just turn this over to Danielle and let her run the show. By the way, if there's some technical glitches or something, Danny has now moved to San Francisco, the big city from Sacramento. I'm in Sacramento. And so we're in 2 different cities now, as we often are across the world, AWA folks. Anyway, if there's a little technical glitch or something, just hang there. If something freezes, we'll figure this out. Danny, did you make me a co-host, by the way, just in case? That's probably a good idea. Okay, so I will stop now and let you take over from here.
Great. Thanks, Jan. It's so nice seeing you all here. Thanks for joining us. I will say that there's never really a good time to go and mail 80 things at the post office. But it was so much fun to package up all of the Peregrines and send them out to you. Thank you so much for your words and your contribution to this journal. In the chat, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to purchase it if you were not among the contributors to receive a hand-mailed copy. And let's just go ahead and jump right on into our reading. So our first reader is Heather B. Are you here? Great.
Hi. Can you hear me okay? Great, perfect. Okay. Well, I wrote this piece called the Goldilocks TikTok Challenge, just kind of as a reaction through teaching through the pandemic with middle schoolers. That was kind of what inspired it. The Goldilocks TikTok Challenge. Goldilocks was all over social media. Hashtag petty crime, hashtag double dare. She had naturally dark hair that was blonde after applying certain chemicals. She slouched in her hoodie, wandering the neighborhood, embarking on the latest challenge. "I'll try that one," she said, pointing to a tiny house. That house happened to be owned by Papa Bear, who was working from home, Mama Bear, who was full of mommy rage, and Baby Bear, who had a serious screen addiction. When Goldilocks opened the door, Papa Bear was on a Zoom call in his man cave. Baby Bear was outside on his phone, and Mama Bear was at the grocery store, dealing coupons like a Vegas card shark. Once inside, Goldilocks peered down at her phone. The first step was to eat someone's leftover breakfast. On the counter were 3 bowls. The first bowl held high-fiber mush. The label said it would lower her cholesterol. "Disgusting," she said, wrinkling her nose. The second bowl was empty because Mama Bear wasn't one to leave a mess. She had already washed and dried her own bowl because God knew nobody else was going to do it for her. The third bowl held colored milk and little pieces of marshmallows. She took a picture of herself, smacking her lips, and posted it. All gone. The second part of the challenge was to sit in someone else's chair. The first chair was squishy and leathery. When she pushed a button, she found her feet elevated above her head. She struggled to get out. No," she said. The second choice was a rocking chair. She couldn't sit on it because it was covered in laundry baskets and piled high with to-do lists. Mama Bear never sat down because she was always doing something, because God knew no one else was going to do it. "Too cluttered," Goldilocks said, threading adulthood. The third chair was from a Swedish store known for its clever wordless manuals. Even bears could assemble them, and apparently one had. Goldilocks sank into its plushy pleasure. She snapped her selfie and posted it. So comfortable. #relaxed, #breaking in. The last part of the challenge was the best. Take a picture in someone else's bed. She shivered with the delicious, naughty audacity of it. The first bed was stiff and uncomfortable. Although she jumped on it a few times, it was too big. "No," she said. The second bed was unmade because Mama Bear was planning to crawl back into it once she had hauled the groceries from the store and folded the rest of the laundry, but before she drove Baby Bear to soccer practice, cooked dinner, and did the dishes. It smelled like the lavender spray she used to try to soothe her insomnia due to her relentless stress. Goldilocks smoothed the sheets. "Baby?" Baby Bear's bed had a fleecy tiger bedspread, but when she lay down, something sharp poked her from underneath. She tried to snap the picture, but she was just too uncomfortable. What is that?" She tore at the bed until she found the Lego bricks under the sheets. She tiptoed back into Mama Bear's room and inhaled that lavender scent. She forgot to post the selfie and was soon fast asleep. Downstairs, Mama Bear pulled the minivan into the driveway and unloaded her groceries. She put them all away because God knew Baby Bear wasn't going to offer to help. She fought the urge for a 5th cup of coffee and dragged her depleted, sorry self into her bedroom. And there, sleeping in her bed, was a teenaged human cradling its phone. Mama Bear took out her own phone. She snapped a picture and posted it. #ungrateful teenage brat sleeping in my bed. Then she got really, really close and she let out an earth-shattering, mommy rage-fueled, caffeine-enhanced snarling growl. Like Elsa in Frozen, Mama Bear let it go. It wasn't hard when she remembered the habitat destruction in those horrible zoos. And Goldilocks went as fast as possible without her selfie, the sting of bear spittle in her eyes. And after she had gone, Mama Bear poured herself a glass of wine at 11 a.m. at the kitchen counter before she stripped her bed and put on clean sheets. Because God knew it wasn't like that bleach blonde tramp was going to come back and do it for her. She put her paws up on the counter, snapped a selfie, and posted it to the Scary Human Challenge website. #don't screw with Mama Bear. #done with humans.
Thank you so much, Heather. What a fun piece.
Thank you.
Daisy B, it's your turn to read.
Thank you. I actually also have my Peregrine to read from.
Amazing.
What was even more amazing was that I could find it on the kitchen table. So I have 2 poems that I'm going to share with you. I think it's sort of a different vibe from the piece that just preceded us. So a little bit of whiplash. The first poem is called New England. I think it will take 1,000 years for me to write about a stone wall without you thinking of Frost. I'd think about him too, striding along, the wall beside him, a faithful companion, granite. The colonists built so many. It's hard to imagine them doing much else. Every stretch of woods is divided, however meandering the wall may be. They always seemed to be on the verge of toppling, but they don't, even though it's not far to go back to earth, the welcome of rotting leaves. Something there is, not someone. It would have been an Abenaki or Pennacook who knew the ridged land where the stones had been rudely harvested, which berries had fallen on that gray speckle like a girl's first bleed. They were already gone when Frost wrote about his hunters, long gone. But I'd rather see them, good neighbors we drove away, the ones who didn't noose the familiar woods with glacier rock, whose word for thousand, counted in stones, is not the same measuring quaking aspens. And yes, I live in Rhode Island, where every other block has a stone wall in it. The other poem is called Your Blue-Eyed Boy. If you don't want to go blind, hell, what kind of instruction begins that way if, like you spent the ride in considering the options and blindness was one of them? You could have stayed home then, comfortable, and let your retina ricochet around your eyes jelly like a pinball in a rattling machine, bulbs blinking, or like some piece of loose gravel in your shoe that you can't fish out. You could have waited to see if it would mean a dark curtain dropping, maroon velour sliding across a window in a low-budget horror movie. Maybe everything would blur, oils, pastels, caked watercolors, the brush in the water, shaking them all loose, one of Lautrec's whores shaking lice loose from her dirty drawers. If you don't want to go blind, you don't look at an eclipse. Everyone knows that. If you do, you're an idiot, but you got to see something no one else did, that pretty sun, close enough to God. You wouldn't take the chance, you shut your eyes. It's dark, but your brain knows. You still can see your eyelids, the light that was caught between your sclera and the warm blood of that inner lip. Secret, the way nothing else is, something you know and never name.
Thank you, Daisy. All right. Deborah B., are you here with us this evening?
Yes. Hi, good evening, good afternoon.
Hi.
I'm going to read one of the two poems that were in this issue. I'm going to read I Have Many Sisters. And there's an epigraph with this poem. It's in German, but I'll translate. It's from Rilke. Ich habe viele Brüder in Sotanen im Süden, wo ein Klösternlöber steht. And it means, I have many brothers in cassocks in the south, where the laurel stands in the cloisters. I see a stand of tall trees here, limbs all reaching up until their leaflessness entwines, a pattern on an Argyle sweater. These are not my sisters, the scrub pines and pin oaks of South Jersey, where even the deciduous trees hold on to a few leaves until spring. No, these trees are more trusting or more careless. Nothing is held back in this season of letting go. Last week at home, I looked out at the greenish-gray dusk of the hurricane to come. Pale patches of lichen grew on the rough oak bark. The lichen emblems glowed in that filtered light. They blazed, marking the trail to where I would rather be. Those oak boughs at home aren't supple enough to be divining rods, yet they douse the deep well of a wild new happiness. Pain is not averted by delay. When spring comes, pale green leaves will finally force the dead brown ones on the pin oaks to let go. Fragile, feeble leaves will emerge as well from the tight red buds of the tall wastrel trees. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. It's so nice being here with all of you and having everyone's different voices in the room. It's so lovely. Okay. Claire B., it's your turn.
Thank you. I'd like to share with you Remembering Bridgie Flynn. And I just want to say thank you to all the volunteers, and such a pleasure to be in this publication. It's beautiful. I've been almost through it all. Remembering Bridgie Flynn. I remember your eyes, the color of the Cadbury chocolates you sent in a fancy stamped brown papered box over the ocean every Easter so we could be reborn again. My sisters and I eating all the goodness in one sitting. deciding we would canonize you without papal permission, sticky fingers fumbling open the envelope that came with the parcel, seeing your face in the shiny holy medal of St. Bridget. I remember placing a magnifying glass over faded yellow paper, trying to find the village you were born, an invisible dot on the torn map of Ireland. I wanted you to wear your hair tied loosely on top of your head in a French roll, like a 40s movie star. But there you were, no-nonsense haircut framing high, ruddy cheekbones, a hint of lipstick saved for Sunday high mass. I hugged your soft, square-shaped body, kissed your clean-scrubbed face. I remember strolling with you past the farmer's market, stopping to listen to the man playing a tune, you slipping him a coin or two. Sitting with you on Kavanagh's bench, the one closest to Bagot Street Bridge. Walking along O'Connell Street through the car-honking city to breathe in the smell of incense at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Watch candles flickering to organ music, sunlight dancing off 3 curved windows, stained glass arrows pointing toward heaven. I remember the smell of the soda bread you made every morning over the turf fire, the whisper of your sing-songy voice saying the rosary, making me want to believe in something more than myself. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Claire. I love the visuals in that. Lisa, C, are you here tonight?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. Take
Thank
it
you.
away.
So the setting of this poem is the Australian outback, 1989. It's called Unrequited. The dented aluminum billy can sways on a tripod of sticks over snapping tongues of fire. Sparks spray into surrounding dark. Soon there will be tea. Across a sweep of rust-red sand, village lights glow fairy-like in a blanket of star-pricked darkness. No sound except wind rustle, fire crackle, 3 voices hushed in desert silence. The ranger sits beside me on a low outcropping, arms slung over my shoulder, pointing to Virgo. They call her the Virgin, he murmurs, breath singeing my ear, but her legs are open. The stone on which we sit is warm. My friend wants him, body angled, leaning with desire. He wants me, signals sent in dark eyes, brush of hands. But I want no one. Just this place, this time, these billion, trillion stars.
Thank you, Lisa. Wow. Francine, D, it's your turn to read. I see you in the room. Just let me know if you're ready or if you want me to move to the next person and we could come back.
I'm here, but my video for some reason doesn't want to work.
Oh,
no. You
no.
can hear me?
I can hear you. Okay.
Is that okay to read that way?
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So this is my poem, Wildflowers and Ode. It has an epigraph as well. In gardens, the tiger lily said, they make the beds too soft, so that the flowers are always asleep. Lewis Carroll, Alice Through Looking Glass. Her nails told the secret of flowering dandelions, how bitterness can be etched sweet on tongues that find comfort within the wild of things. In spring, she belongs to the marigold shoulders of highways, foraging for gold lining the streets of migrant dreams sold to her. back-bent hands drown in the honeyed waterfall of her crops. She shines even in the shade thrown by passing cars. Those are weeds, slides off her fork, slick, her olive oil waltzing in a sea-salted current. Garlic glistening on the lion-toothed tails dripping from her pan to her children, mouths that have not yet learned the English word for weed. Their porous palates, vermeil golden, like thickening with each mouthful, savor in the reflection on their forks. Thank you.
Thank you, Francine. And it looks like now we can see you. So glad to have all of you here and to see everyone's faces. It's really nice to come together and share this writing and reading together. So with that, it's Anne F., your turn to share your piece. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. Thanks so much for hosting. Thank you, Jan and Sue and everybody else who made this publication happen. It's just a delight to be in it, and it's really fun to listen to you all read. Love having the voices with the words. So my poem is Civil Disobedience. The letter read, each student is asked to bring in one plain yellow daffodil bulb by Monday, and each class will plant their bulbs in front of the school as time and weather allow. You can't buy just one daffodil bulb. They come in packs. I offered to buy enough for my son's entire class. At the store, I reached for plain yellow, but that bold print rankled. My son was in special ed. I bought a variety pack, stuffed 20 in a brown paper bag, plenty for the kids, teacher, 2 aides, and sent them to school. Those bulbs looked no different than the plain. Who would know? My son is in his 30s now. Every spring, I drive past the school when the daffodils bloom and look for the different ones. They bloom a little later.
Aww.
They've just widened the street there too and torn up half of them. But anyway, it's been a fun. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Anne. How sweet. Laura F., it's your turn to read.
Thank you so much. This poem is, I'm in Pomfret, Vermont, and this poem is set in Pomfret, Vermont, in the snow. Conjuration. Wearing deep cleated snowshoes, I climbed the hill behind our house, kept company by my loyal canines. We admire the summit view, familiar peaks made new by clouds of fresh snow. Then begin the long descent, not steeply down, but through the neighbors' welcoming snowfields, past shadowed pines, leafless maples, oaks that hold their leaves like aces. Alice waits for me, but Chloe runs off, returns when called, then doesn't. Alice and I trudge for miles as I call through empty fields, and I see no deer, no dog, not even a squirrel for comfort as the blizzard wind begins. I nearly lose myself on a steep cliff, slipping down through icy woods, snowshoes clattering like a trolley off its rails. At the bottom, still far from home, I brush myself off, hearing the storm's discord within, my angry monologue at the dog. Then a purer note directing me, dear spirit, I plead, gesturing up through empty trees, may she come safely home. I conjure an image of her thick, healthy body, loving face. And then at the next turn, she bounds round the corner toward me. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Okay, Kate G., it's your turn to share your piece.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm in Wales and it's like 12:30. It's weird.
Oh my God.
I
Thank you for joining us here at this time.
it's good to be here. I'm a little tired. Sorry. Hopefully I'll enunciate everything right. I wrote this poem years ago when I was studying in a cabin in Oregon. And woke up one morning and yeah, this is what came up. So it's called Conservation of Matter. Woke this morning, lifted salty eyes to a small window frosted with chill. Condensed upon the pane, night's dew from my cheeks and shining eyes transformed. Outside, dark-needled giants bow, scrape earth, weighed down with the weight of my heart, white as snow. Somewhere, a cardinal wreaks havoc.
Thank you so much, Kate, for sharing. That was lovely. And I hope that after this lovely reading, you're able to maybe get some nice rest too. Patricia H., it's your turn to share your piece.
Thank you. This is called Beyond Dream Shadows, partly written when waking up last spring. Light slips over the grassy mound, creeps in the window, brightens magnolia's buds, opening like baby's fists unclenching. Long-necked geese with orange beaks take shape as fog lifts off the lake's skin. Pterodactyl wings thrum in unison. Snowdrops' white bells unfurl on their long stems, bow again to the warming ground like prayerful nuns at louds who wake before dawn, catch the roused world turning.
Thank you, Patricia. All right, up next, Ralph L., it's your turn to read.
Thank you. Thank you to the Amherst writers and artists. This poem is about a neighborhood that's now been completely gentrified, where I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Thinking about home on the 4th of July. An ordinary block, just long enough that hair wet from the shower, froze in winter, and summer seersucker wilted before the sanctuary of the subway tunnel at its end. A blue-collar hodgepodge, stucco, brick, and shingle. Stoops resounded with Italian and Polish, not the island-rooted majority's lost Gaelic. All were Americans on the 4th. Old flags dragged from closets hung limp in the rising heat. The scent of lighter fluid signaled charred hot dogs and hamburgers. Children waited for the firework lightning smuggled from New Jersey. The street's vets were divided. The untried drank beer and lied, while the silent hoped to forget, draining cups fortified by the spirits of lands that haunted them. One held to an annual mission as dangerous as any the Army had required. Provisioned with 2 bottles of whiskey, he left the house, fleeing memory before the firecrackers and M80s returned the jungle and the mortars and napalm. If he was lucky, he fell into his own bed. If not, his wife feared for the night as if he was deployed. Neighbors judged his drinking, ignoring who he was the other 364 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Oh, wow. There's just so much great writing in this edition of Peregrine, and it's so great to hear everyone reading these pieces. Sandra, it's your turn to read. Sandra M.
Hello, thank you. This is a poem called Journey, and it was inspired by a poem called Before by Ada Limon. New dress and a satin-edged blanket. I rode on a train with my mother and sisters at 5 years old. before we moved back to New England, before the adultery, before the depression, before I stopped wishing for you to come home each night, before we became the curtain behind which you hid. We were a family on a train, traveling from Oklahoma to Connecticut, a young mother eager for her children to behave, young girls excited about the bunks in the sleeper car, and we did not know how happy we were at that moment, or how betrayal could look like a familiar person, or how carelessly hearts could be trampled. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. We've got a few more readers for this evening. So let's move along. Lindsay R., it's your turn to share your piece.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here and really, really wonderful to hear all these voices and to be in community with you. So I wrote this poem soon after the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. And it has an epigraph. No beautiful. Mariupol, Ukraine, March 2022. There will be no peace for a while, or quiet. The way peace comes with quiet, there'll be none of that for a while. There'll be no steady hand to mend her shattered bowl. There'll be no playing for a while, save for the way light plays upon her drawn and sculpted face, now home to oblivion and despair, so far beyond beautiful, perhaps there will be no beautiful anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Powerful piece. Linda T., it's your turn.
I second Lindsay's sentiments about everyone being here. It's wonderful to see all these beautiful faces and hear the voices. My piece is self-explanatory. It's Unfold a Black Man for George Floyd. A falling scent, hold in a nostril, unfold in a lung, a breath, hold in alveoli, unfold CO2. Gather oxygen, lose the scent. Stop. 9 minutes, 47 seconds. Unfold stillness. A knee on the neck. Unfold a heartbeat, a heartbeat, a heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. We have one more piece and one more reader signed up tonight, and that's Amy W. Would you please share your piece for us? We would love to hear.
Thank you so much. My internet connection has been going in and out, so I hope this reading goes smoothly. I was able to hear at least parts of everybody's poems and voices, so I'm grateful for that. And also grateful to have a second reading because I couldn't make the first one, so this feels really special. I'm going to read the poem Realignment. One half walks the dog, one half paces the driveway, one half, why does she always need a hug? One half sleeps in the bathtub, one half picks tomatoes 5 a day, elbow deep in foliage. One half picks them too pink. One half, where is he? One half is the hydrophilic head. One half watches rocks in the dry riverbed. One half assumes big spoon. One half does laundry, no spin, everything heavy and dripping into the dryer, had to run 3 times. 1/2 requests box mac and cheese for dinner. 1/2 delivers salted caramel ice cream. 1/2 can joke, can laugh. 1/2 aches to go, to come. 1/2 can't shower without sobbing. 1/2 can't shower without shampoo. 1/2 sings out of tune with the doves. 1/2 at least you love yourself. The roses 1/2 leaves on the doorstep are black. 1/2 wakes with a pinched nerve in the back. 1/2 doesn't know what to do. 1/2 doesn't know what to do. 1/2 drives while 1/2 writhes. At the chiropractor's, 1/2 writes ransom notes to no one. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And I can't speak for everyone else's internet connection, but on my end, I could hear your whole piece. So thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you all so much for sharing your beautiful words. It was truly our pleasure to sort through all of these submissions and curate them into this beautiful compilation. It's been truly amazing to be a part of it all. And so thank you, thank you. Jan, were there anyone who had reached out to you?
I didn't see anything from anybody. Did I forget anybody? Did I miss somebody? Anybody get missed and wave to us or speak up or something? Because I want to make sure we don't forget anybody. But here's the other thing I want to tell you is that if you were not looking at the chat, especially readers, be sure to look in the chat because Sue Reynolds was giving lovely AWA style responses to what you were reading. That is what we like, what stays with us, what's strong about those words. And it's such a lovely thing to see someone responding in the way that Pat Schneider created for us all, and that we are so proud and honored to carry on that work across the world for AWA. It's just a wonderful thing that we get to do here, I think. So I think that might be everybody. Sue, anything you want to pop in and say real quick? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but you want to unmute and say something real quickly as our fearless leader, as the board president?
I just want to say I have not had dinner yet, but I'm feeling totally fed. I'm just so grateful to be here tonight and to hear all of those gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. I actually laid the book out, so I got to read all of the pieces as I was doing this, but it is such a gift to hear them in the writer's words, in the writer's voices. So thank you, everybody, for being here tonight and giving us that gift.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And thank you for your staying kind of tied into AWA. Danny has a couple of announcements, in fact, to that end about things and ways you can be involved or be looking at things if you're interested from AWA. Go ahead, Danny.
Yeah, so in 2023, AWA is offering a series of monthly workshops held in the method and facilitated by a variety of certified AWA affiliates. And I just wanted to invite any and all of you to join us on January 20th. That's next week. Affiliate Margaret O'Brien, who lives in Southeast Ireland, is going to be leading the writing session on the 20th. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the registration link for that. That's the next upcoming writing session. And also let you know to check out the AWA events calendar because there's going to be a monthly write each month in 2023. So that's something you don't want to miss. These are writing sessions that are accessible to all at a donation-based cost. So if you refer to the chat, I dropped the link. And yeah, we would love to have you join us. If you can't come on the 20th, check out maybe the ones in the future and join us at those. So far, they've been really positive, generative writing sessions, and we would love to see you all there. So, and who knows, maybe you could draft something up to put in next Peregrine. So anyways, it's been great to have you here, and I hope to see all of you soon. Thank you so much.